Making volunteer work a centerpiece of his life comes naturally to University of Central Missouri alumnus Tom Wyrsch. Born and raised in Kansas City, he grew up in an Irish family, the seventh of 8 kids. His father died when young Tommy was only 10, but left an indelible impression.
My father, some of the early remembrances of him was that he was always late for dinner because he was either doing a project at the church in some capacity and some other group that he was helping out at the time. And I think that stuck with a lot of my family members.
Following his father's passing, his mother and extended family, the O'Connors, came together to provide a wonderful childhood experience.
I think growing up in a large family is really, helpful in the sense that you've got figures ahead of you, especially with my sisters. There's some strong women there. I had an older brother who also was, almost a father figure too, because he came to be that. A lot of support from uncles and aunts and extended family, but it was a great experience being in a big, huge family.
His uncle, Dr. Jack Heitman, a faculty member at Central Missouri, urged him to visit. Tom not only decided to enroll, but was a walk-on with the Mules football team.
I had never played high school football because I went to a school that didn't have high school football, and ended up in the fall going out and making the JV team.
Another interest Wyrsch pursued at UCM was politics. Dr. James Young, the chair of the Department of Political Science, was one of his favorite professors, as was Dr. John Hayne. Being elected as a senator in the Student Government Association allowed Wyrsch to channel his interests into meaningful action.
I held a forum one time trying to get people involved in the political process. I invited office holders up to come in and give seminars about what they did and try to get young people more active. Then you have to remember that was at a time when 18-year-olds were just given the right to vote. So I found it very important to try to make sure that they knew that, they gave us the right to vote at 18 for a reason, and wanted to take a lot of people to take part in that.
Wyrsch's love of politics would temporarily lead him away from college. Back in Kansas City during one Christmas break, a sign for a presidential candidate caught his attention and sent him into action.
Right above the Parkville Drug was a sign that said McGovern for president. And I climbed the stairs into this headquarters, and there was 2 or 3 people there, and I went in and asked them what I could do, and I started volunteering. And needless to say, I didn't return to school. I spent a year on the McGovern campaign, helping get delegates in Kansas and Missouri for his presidential bid.
An internship with Senator Stuart Symington soon followed and led to full-time positions in the senator's Kansas City and Washington, D.C. offices. Wyrsch's passion for politics eventually led him to run for political office as a Democratic committeeman.
I've had the honor to serve as chairman. I'm in my 2nd term right now. I also served a term back from 2000 to 2002. So I'm one of the few chairmen that have served in 2 different decades. More people should get involved, whether you're Republican or Democrat. It's always been important to me to have people get out and vote, and I think that's what my expertise in the Democratic Party is.
Wyrsch has been involved with the State Democratic Party on the executive board and the State Democratic Committee. In addition to politics, Wyrsch has a long history of supporting a host of events in the Kansas City Irish community. Among his cadre of close friends is a professional musician, Eddie Delahunt, an immigrant who found a warm reception in Kansas City.
I came here in 1989 for a 9-day visit at a place called Harling's on Main Street, and didn't know a sinner in this town, but I met one sinner, and his name was Tommy Wyrsch. He's no longer a sinner, but I met him. He was introducing me to the local Irish community within Kansas City itself, and it was all just a big old hurricane for me. He knew everybody's name. He said, so-and-so. Anybody that was Irish of influence, Tommy knew him.
Whether it's the MDA, Jazoo, the Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade, or Irish Fest, Wyrsch loves to volunteer for organizations close to his heart.
The Irish Fest is one of my favorite events, and they honored me a couple of years ago. I run an entry gate, so they named it the Tommy Gate. So now everybody comes through the Tommy Gate, and it's great, and I'll continue it.
We're both very passionate about what we do. Where Tommy just volunteers at anything, and he's just like me. We have a crew, and we go from event to event, so it makes it a lot of fun.
When Tom and I were younger, we both had this bad habit of saying yes to everything. We both were making miserable wages, and yet we would volunteer for everything free, possibly do. So for years, Tom and I, every time we've passed a mirror, I say, stop. Okay, Tom, now look in the mirror and say no. And every time he looks in the mirror, Tom goes, he can't do it. His head won't move this way. It's always, of course I will. And you gotta love him for it.
Wyrsch has served on the University of Central Missouri Alumni Board of Directors, both on the executive board and as president. His leadership, expertise, and spirit helped reconnect UCM alums with their alma mater. He also enjoys another very special connection to the university, his daughter, Callie.
She called me one night and said, "Dad, you know, I looked at Central Missouri and their program, and they've got everything I want. And so I think I'm going to go there." Well, I tried not to, get too excited, but in my heart, it was touching. It was kind of nice to have my only child decide to go to where I went.
Tom Wyrsch is currently the Director of Contract Compliance for Jackson County, Missouri. Maintaining fair hiring and job practices are his mission. During the renovations of the Truman Sports Complex, Wyrsch spent 3 days a week at the stadiums, interviewing workers and reviewing payrolls.
It's important, I think, that for the working man who's working for a company, that he gets paid the wage that's promised to him for the type of work he's trying to do.
Working or volunteering to gain recognition has never been his motivation. But those close to Tom Wyrsch know it's time for this behind-the-scenes expert to enjoy a moment in the spotlight.
Tommy Wyrsch, you're so deserving of the UCM Service Award. You're the best damn volunteer in Kansas City and what Warrensburg has as well. So you deserve it, and remember that.
Mr. Tom Wyrsch, congratulations on your UCM Service Award. Well deserved. And I look forward to seeing you on down the road. Bye-bye.
Thomas Wyrsch, my friend, congratulations on receiving this UCM award, the Service Award, because I can't think of anybody who deserves a little recognition and who probably is less comfortable with it than you. But you, again, you deserve this, and we're all proud of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2015 UCM Distinguished Alumni Award for Service winner, Mr. Tom Wyrsch.